irate and pissed off at that dying king bullshit. This take you back to Italy. The Cosa Nostra rolling like them black-faced Sicilians. You see that leader over there? Yeah, that leader ain't a real one. Yep, that's right in one of my songs. Now, which took me back to La Cosa Nostra, which I almost left out. The La Cosa Nostra is known as the Black Hand of Italy. The La Cosa Nostra is centralized in Sicily. Now, if you look at the boot appears to be kicking the soccer ball of Sicily. So now, how do I tie Sicily and the mob to me? Cicely Tyson. Now, Cicely Tyson did a movie. This also ties me to Mike. Remember, I just got done going over my Mike Tyson spiel. Cicely Tyson, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson ties me back to Sicily. Don King in the Italian mob out of Indianapolis set Mike Tyson up to take the fall on the rape case that they paid Desiree Washington to proclaim. She didn't even want to do it. And she talked to her father, who convinced her. Because he was scared of the mob. He wasn't scared of Mike. He was scared of the mob. Fuck Mike Tyson. He's a celebrity. He can't do nothing to me. His ass will go to prison. But the mob will make my ass disappear. Understand me? So now, Cicely Tyson had to tie me to Sicily, Mike Tyson, and the mob. So now let's do this. Italy, where the imposter sits, kicking the mob, the Black Hand. The Black Hand is La Cosa Nostra, that's located in Sicily, what they call the homeland. Go watch The Godfather. And the Godfather told his son about the niggas, don't you ever let me hear you call them backwards rock-throwing niggas again, because you must have forgot. We Sicilian. They used to call us that. Why they stop calling them that? They Sicilian. Go to Sicily. Look at the people. They look like this. You got some that look like the Godfather, Michael Corleone, and you got some look like that, but more of them look like me. If they catch a black dude that speak fluent Italian, they ask him, are you Sicilian? You Siciliano. You from the homeland. You from the mother country. Right? Now, how did Sicily get to be black? I might as well tell y'all so y'all know I'm not bullshitting. Hannibal's conquest in the effort to stop the patriarchal invasion of Rome, where as a child he swore his life's mission was to stop the rise of Rome, and he gave his life because his own home team sold him out at home while he was fighting in the streets abroad. Once they conquered and he left in exile, he didn't get murdered. He left in exile, Tupac. I see what happened, Tupac. You didn't die. You left in exile. And in exile, all of his soldiers was what you call deported. All of the babies that they had was rounded up off this, as many as they could find in Sicily that wasn't too light. If they was too light, they let them stay because they figured that they just amalgamate and disappear. Never understanding one drop of black blood, motherfucker. Tell the papacy that. One drop of black blood and we just took you bitches over. We took you motherfuckers over, Francis, talking ass mule.
It was formed as 62 Command in July 1941 to undertake small-scale raids behind...
No, that's something else. That's something else.
All right. The Special Air Service. All right, hold up. Yeah. Yeah, hold on. Let me type this in. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Give me something good. Yeah. They hide that particular topic, boy. But you say you pulled it up before?
Yeah, it's under the history of the FBI.
Brief history of the FBI. Let's get that right here. All right.
See where it go back to 1908. In 1908, it wasn't called the Federal Bureau of Investigations yet.
Yeah. You know what? I got a document on this somewhere about what you're talking about. Now that I think about it.
Okay, the reason why I bring them up is because they tell us it means one thing, but it means something else. I wanted you to see the symbol for it before I take you to Switzerland.
Okay, all right. I gotta find like another way to type it in then probably. All right.
They was really the Swiss Army Services enforcement arm of the international banks. But they came over here, they changed the meaning of the SAS. And I don't have my other computer. I'll look that shit up real quick and show you what I'm talking about.
Swiss Army Services.
Go to images and see what they flag or they logo look like.
All right. He's the same suckers they trained to do that martial law joint, ain't it? They got the Red Cross. That's the same shit. That's the same flag with the damn Knights of Templar.
Right. Now you starting to see it. So pull up the Templar flag because the Templars split. Remember there was a war within the Templars at the Catholic Church.
Uh-huh.
Right? And it became contentious and they split into two factions.
Uh-huh.
See the Templar cross? Okay, now, remember when you were saying that you brought the French up?
Yeah.
The last war with the Swiss is where all of them went to France.
Yeah.
I mean, went from France to Switzerland.
Yeah, 86, somewhere around that, maybe. Yeah.
Right. Okay, now when they get over there, Switzerland becomes declared what you call a neutral country with no public relations or ties to any other nation.
Just like DC and the Vatican.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Switzerland don't know Italy can go to war because the Vatican is in Rome and Rome is in Italy.
Okay. Okay.
Italy can go to war, but Rome can go to war by themselves without Italy.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Now, London, the military of England, they go to war by the order of Parliament.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to go to war unless they have America's support because they're not really the military strength. They are the banking power. Yeah. They operate from here.
Yeah.
Now, pull up World Bank.
All right, I got you. World Bank, baby. We got their ass. Somebody in the crowd say, "Get Rod Hayes, get them niggas, man."
Now you see where the symbol for the World Bank? It's the globe, or it's a laid out map of the world, right?
Yeah.
All right. All of your tax dollars go there. They don't have nothing to do with paying for your roads. It's another one called IMF. Pull that one up too.
International Mountain Funds.
Yep.
Damn.
These are the people who's collecting the taxes. Guess where their primary offices are?
France.
No, Switzerland.
Switzerland. Ah.
Right? Now, the Moorish stronghold is the Isle of Man. Pull that up.
The Isle of Man.
ISLE of Man. Click that. That's the flag.
That's a creepy. He just twist. It looked like a damn swastika though.
Almost. Something missing.
Yeah. It's missing. Yeah.
Right. One of the angles is missing.
Yeah.
Where's it at? Noble Drew Ali got it. It's on Circle 7.
Ah.
Okay, now Go to the all and pull up the description for the Isle of Man.
Go to all. Okay, I got you. We got that now.
If you can make it bigger, I can read it.
All right, hold on. Let me do this.
Oh, click over there to the right.
Right here.
Yeah, that's just a quick description instead of reading the whole history.
It says the Isle of Man is a self-governed British crown dependency in the Irish Sea between England and Ireland. It's known for its rugged coastlines, medieval castles and ruins, landscape fishing to the mountains center. It's the capital, Douglas, the Matrix Museum trace the island's Celtics and Vikings heritage. The Isles of Man (TT) is the major annual cross-country motorcycle and race around the island.
Okay, now behind where you got it, type the Isle of Man, type and Moors. A-N-D Moors. No, stay on all. We want the description. We want them to tell us what's the connection.
All right. It's talking about this dude named Arthur Williams Moore. That's a heavy ass name right there with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Williams and Moore. That's a oh, they really ain't giving me nothing too much nothing on it. With the Moors. Let me do this because they like to play these games and put the ish on it. Let's see, put the ish. It says there were black Muslims in Northwest Africa. No, that ain't what we're looking for. We're looking for the Isle of Man. Oh, let me type it in like this. Rhode Island.
That's the Mirror Island. Rhode Island was settled by the English.
So it's the Mirror Island to the other
Isle of Man. Yeah.
Oh shit. So-called black Moors, a black Moor. It was a black servant originally enslaved in North Africa who worked. These motherfuckers be lying like a mother. They be lying like a mother. That's not it. Yeah, hey, I don't see that on this.
Look, I'll send you something for the next show. We'll clean it up over there. So I'll be able to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But the Isle of Man was a stronghold for the Moors after the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh yeah, I gotta write this down, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So they settled the Isle of Man as an independent domain within the British Empire.
Yeah.
Right. And so now they operating from there, and they not using the 6-point star. They using 3 legs.
This is crazy.
Right. Now, what's the significance of the legs? Pull up the George Washington. You still got that George Washington challenge I showed you?
I got it on my phone, but I don't got it on the well, I don't even got the phone because I got a new phone. Yeah.
Okay, because the reason why I asked, because in there, one of the things was mentioned was the sandals.
Yeah,
Moors, look, the Moors that came from Europe didn't wear sandals. The Dutch didn't wear sandals. They wore wooden shoes, remember? And they wore the buckle in the front.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The English wore the boots with the buckle across the front. Right? They kind of was made on the same style as the shoe. So they didn't come over here wearing sandals, but we was wearing moccasins.
Yeah, right.
Right? And that's the sandals they talking about.
Go ahead.
Right? So if you pull up any picture from early colonial America, pull up colonial American footwear. So when you pull up the footwear, you know that they didn't even come over here wearing sandals. They didn't wear sandals or moccasins. They came over wearing boots, shoes. Them little ugly motherfuckers right there. Them, yeah.
Leprechauns, the leprechaun joints.
Right.
It was rocking the leprechaun joints. The wooden shoes.
All these is the different size shoes that came from Europe over here. The moccasins was what we wore. You should know the difference in the footwear.
Yes, hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Jude, because that ties in with me looking at the phenotypes and all that. So I'm gonna look at the footwear. That's a good Jude.
Right. Also, remember the red shoes is what we call from dancing on the ruby red floor set. That's dancing in the blood. Remember Michael Jackson, Blood on the Dance Floor? That's what he's talking about. The blood on the dance floor is for sacrificing them to the music. This was what we wore. What you looking at now? This is them the sandals.
Yeah. I got a couple pair of these. I got about like 5 or 6 pair of these shoes. This actually what I like wearing. My daddy used to wear. Everybody, my whole family used to rock these. So hey, I got like 5 or 6 pair of these.
Right. Yeah. Now, if you go to English shoes of the 1500s, they're not gonna have nothing like this. So I gotta be making so many connections to who I'm talking about, to what I'm talking about, that y'all know exactly what I'm saying. See that pointy ass shoe right there?
Yeah. Oh shit! Look at that. They want witch shoes.
Yeah, that's not a witch shoe.
Go ahead.
That's from over there in Europe. That's the precursor to the modern day Stacey Adams.
Yeah, it was when the niggas got the. Yeah, I know what you're about. Go ahead.
Right, that was a customary footwear. You remember the genie had the toes curled up on their shoes?
Yeah.
That was from wearing these until the toes curled up.
The food for the king. He wear the type of shoe like this, you know?
The jester.
Yeah, the jester.
Yeah, the clown shoes.
Yeah.
That's Boaz.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you scroll down, you'll see the different shoe types from the era.
Oh yeah, it's a fire ass Jew right here, brother. It's another.
You see those shoes?
Yeah.
This is what they was wearing when they came over here. Do them look like motherfucking sandals or moccasins to you?
And
right?
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Them the shoes they was wearing. They not the same.
No, those were ugly joints. Our joints ain't that ugly. Our joints weren't ugly like this.
Hey, back in the day, that's like what motherfucker looking at some gators now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, back in the day, it's like looking at some gators.
Yeah. Them niggas was sharp when they came over here with their baggy ass Arabian Nights gear on.
They thought they was clean as hell with the damn. They look like some monkey ass.
Okay, let's buckle back down and get to where they go when they got over here. So they controlling the politics from the Washington Masonic Lodge.
Let me get that pulled up, please.
Geography is everything. It's about the real estate. All of the sigils on Washington, D.C. is a great conjure.
I know it.
You see it?
Yeah. And why Benjamin Banneker said to help them niggas set their shit up there? Was he in with them niggas?
Who?
Benjamin Banneker.
His fez is in the memorial.
Huh?
His fez is in that Washington memorial.
Oh shit. So the ones that got the dirty Moors that got their feds collected.
Well, look, we call them dirty Moors, but we're gonna be 100. They came over here to challenge us in the conjure war because they wanted to take over Earth.
Yeah.
You can call them your enemy. You call them dirty boys. You call them what you want. They some smart ass motherfuckers because they had all of us niggas over here stumped
Yeah.
until they let some little old nappy head motherfucker from Pontiac, Michigan get out the penitentiary and take the test.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a galactic chess game. You got to know where the pieces is moving. So the Jewish Defense League, why the FBI don't arrest them for extortion of Tupac, Michael Jackson, motherfucking Biggie, R. Kelly, everybody that you know of that went to prison or got murdered in the last 50 years in Hollywood, their name is in their file and the FBI is aware of it. So why is the FBI not doing anything?
Are they the same people that started trying to frame Michael Jackson with those kids thing, little kids?
Yes, the same motherfuckers.
Damn.
They the same motherfuckers. Look, they called the Jewish Defense League in public. They 32-degree Scottish Rite Freemasons in private, and they also Moors in
Jews.
public.
More Jews.
More Zionist Jews.
Yeah, more Zionists. It's right there, man. Zionist Jews. It's right there, man. The learned elders of Zion. It's all right there. It ain't no, I mean, this shit's clear as day now.
Okay, now, remember when we went to Trotsky and he had Malcolm X on the cover?
Uh-huh.
Because it's through the study of Leon Trotsky that you end up finding a guy from Barbados by the name of C.L.R. James. I had sent you a picture before, but you can pull him up.
All right.
C.L.R. James was the entire philosopher for Stalin, Lenin, and he was good friends with Trotsky. Leon Trotsky got murdered by the same motherfuckers that murdered Noble Drew Ali. That's him. Look, he's one of the most prolific minds of the last 100 years. Most of us don't know who this guy is because we don't get a good Moorish education. All right, now, in his writings, he's given us the blueprint in order to go back to our ancestral ways, but it's concealed under the doctrine of communism. So Trotsky's book was after a conversation with him. They were talking about how we would come to prominence and how to organize the people in the Black nationalist movement to a tribalist agenda using communists as the cover story.
Uh-huh.
Right? But if you don't know who the chiefs is, you won't never figure it out.
Uh-huh.
So Malcolm X said, I'll work with anybody who's willing to change this rotten condition on this planet we face.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Right? Remember that?
Uh-huh.
And then he set up something called the OAAU, right? Organization for African American Unity.
Uh-huh.
But he didn't have to do that because we already had UNIA.
Okay.
Right? Now, when we roll out of the 60s, right, and we coming into the 70s, we rolling into what we call the gang era.
Uh-huh.
The gang era was on the heels of the counterintelligence programs, the extermination of the leadership.
Okay.
Right? So from here, we had to show you their modus operandi with Maurice Bishop. Pull him up.
Maurice. Got their ass.
Now, Maurice Bishop was the prime minister of Grenada, and he had brought drastic change to an island that was in a similar condition as Haiti.
This is white dude?
No, there you go. That's him.
Oh,
they murdered him. CIA put a hit on him and killed him.
He had a meeting with Fidel Castro, same nigga that was meeting up with Malcolm X.
Yep. The CIA murdered him.
Why they killed him?
You got to study his story. He had fought America and beat him. They had sent some special ops from America down there, and he ran their ass up out of there, and he was setting Grenada up to be independent. He built an international airport in Grenada. started giving jobs, making the people of the island have a way to support themselves. He was very important. He was for the islands. He was a Malcolm X type figure or a Stephen Biko type figure,
Okay.
right? And so they had to get rid of him because he wanted us from the land. And the people support us over a person that's an imposter because they recognize the difference immediately because of some shit called sincerity. Right? Now, this was around 83 when they murdered him. Who's in the White House in 83?
83 is Reagan.
Ronald motherfucking Wilson Reagan. When Reagan was in office, Reagan wasn't running the country after his assassination attempt. Bush was running everything after that.
Yeah.
That's why Reaganomics started off galvanizing the economy. Right? And then it became voodoo economics when Bush tried to he introduced a massive amount of narcotics into the community to suck the wealth back out fast as it go in. The side effect is it produced Big Meech. It produced motherfucking Freeway Ricky Ross.
That's right. Go ahead.
It produced Harriet. Right? And we learned how to come up from nothing using the poisons that they was pushing us down our throat. Hey, so once Big Meech get into the money, now he don't have to do shit. He can switch over and become legitimate. Because in the boys in the hood, it's always hard. Come talking that trash, we'll pull your card. Want nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote Eazy-E because I ain't said shit. And so this is what the whole struggle is to keep all of the chiefs on the land, no matter where you find them, whether it's Maurice Bishop in Grenada, whether it's motherfucking Chief Malik Angel Bay in Chicago, whether it's Big Tookie or Black Panther on the West Coast, it doesn't matter. Wherever one of us at that is starting to make the necessary connections to move these people off the land, they murder them. They murdered Maurice Bishop. They murdered Malcolm X. They murdered Noble Drew Ali. They murdered Medgar Evers. They just kept murdering us. They murdered Clan 13X. They murdered almost all the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar family. The only reason he didn't get murdered because he wasn't home doing the same fucking dirt. The same people. So the ones that's behind it now, they had hits on various different people that had to be removed out of the picture. So Maurice Bishop is for us a chief cult figure. He's somebody that we can teach our sons that this is how a man move in politics.
I'm gonna study this guy. Sure.
Yeah. You can pull up one of his speeches on YouTube. He wasn't for no games. They got some short ones too. But Maurice Bishop ties me back to a guy named Tony Martin. Remember Tony Martin?
Tony Martin. That name sound familiar. Tony Martin. Tony Martin.
You remember the Jewish Onslaught, right?
No.
Pull up Jewish Onslaught. So back in like 97, Tony Martin was trying to use the secret relationship between blacks and Jews to teach a class in his college classroom. And the Jewish Defense League came out against him. And it's the Jewish Onslaught, Onslaught.
Spell that last part again.
Onsl. There you go.
Okay. Damn. Tony Martin.
Right there on the right, yeah. Tony Martin. Okay, now, right under that, you see the blue one in the middle? Under him? Click that. This is the reverse side of the book. I don't know if you'll be able to read it, but it tells you what the book is about. Yeah. So when he never felt any pressure like he did from the Jewish Onslaught, and he was talking about how he didn't know nobody else that could have this kind of power that could affect his life this way. Right? Now the Jews he talking about are the Zionist Jewish Moors that's running the show. Okay, so one of the speakers that he had come in one time was Maurice Bishop. Yeah. I think you muted, Elder.
Okay, yeah, we got it right here.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's the Jewish Onslaught. That's the book he wrote telling about the struggle he was going through. The irony of it is the same. It feels the same as what Malcolm described when he said to Alex Haley, I don't think the Nation of Islam behind this because I train them guys and I know what they do. This is not them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, now the description that he gives, it feel the same energy is coming off of these people that he's talking about in this book.
Yeah.
All right, now, Maurice Bishop and Tony Martin end up trying to make some connections with some of the organizations here for support. Everybody was scared.
Damn. Hey, so these black Jews, like you said, they don't play no games. They got everybody spooked out. Like everybody, like, oh, I don't want to mess with them guys. Them guys, they dirty. They don't play by the rules.
So them the same people that killed Clarence, that murdered Clarence 13X.
Man, come on now. You going in. Now go ahead.
Okay, so they caught him in Harlem and shot him in the middle of the night. Thought that, nobody didn't know who did it.
Yeah.
Right, but we know who did it.
These same niggas, man.
We know who did it down to the trigger man because it's in the files. It's just not made public. The same way as Malcolm X assassination was caught on live news feed. Most people don't know that. It was a whole press section in the Audubon ballroom recording for TV when Malcolm was taking the stage when they shot him, and they got the whole thing on camera, and the FBI seized all of the footage.
Yeah.
Why would they do that and blame two innocent men out of the three of having something to do with it? Why would they do that?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They protect their own. One of them was a loyalist to Elijah. The other two wasn't. And if they was trying to get Malcolm was running a red herring. The red herring is when you run the distraction to draw the heat off your guy. That's why he made that statement in the autobiography that I'll lay my life down for this man, and he didn't say it in the past tense. He said it in the present tense at the time he was talking to Alex.
What man was he talking about?
Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Elijah Muhammad discovered what Noble Jew Ali carried as the secret. He came over from the Moorish Science Temple in the early days of the Nation of Islam, right? And if you ain't been around, you won't never know who Brother Moon is. But Farrakhan always kept him close until he crossed over. Because he was the one who carried the motherfucking keys that's called the silver key. From the Moorish Science Temple to the Nation of Islam. The gold key came through the Prince Hall Lodge, and it came in off of the UNIA adaptation to W.E.B. Du Bois and collaborating to set up sororities and fraternities to pass the gold key. Right? The gold key is the solar magic, conjure keys. The keys to the conjure. If you don't know where to look, you can't find them.
So let me ask you this. So is this so it's going back to, like I said, it's a war between good witches and bad witches, or good wizards and bad wizards.
For the most part. Now, where is the story at that tell us about the conjure war? It's in the King Tut story.
Okay.
And remember, in the King's Tut story, it was the priest of Amun, the unknown god, versus the priest of the I-10, the one who choose to be known. What's the dispute? So they challenged him to a conjure war. All of the different dynasties had a master of the conjure war. Still there? Can you hear me, Elder? Your microphone on mute.
Trust, which is the difference between being in the public trust and your strong man and being within the private. Let's say, for instance, if you were with the mosque or the NOI, you know what I mean? You would have the protection of those groups of people. So if you could expound on that and then the difference between the OOR and the UUR, please.
Well, the UUR was Amaru. It was AMUURU. The Amaru is the tribal designation that they trying to say is the same as a MOOR more. They not the same, right? When you look at the Moors, they try to get anything with an M and an R in it out of history and say, see, we was ancient Moors here. And the word be something like Mirafaka. That's not Moor, you know. Like the, for instance, a good one is the Kemetic term mir. The Kemetic, they say this is the Moors, the mir. Well, you motherfuckers is some spaceships. Because that's what a flying apparatus is, a mir in Kemetic. It's the same thing in Hebrew. A mir is a ship, a plane, a flying apparatus. That's not the same thing. Then they try to use that as the dogmatic influence. Remember, Albert Pike issued the righteous the challenge between morals and dogma. Was you going to pursue the moral path or the dogmatic pursuit? Let's go back to a little history lesson. Let's go back to when the Moorish um, Temple of Science, a civics organization, was formed. When the Moorish civics organization was formed, it was formed to give us a tribe in the public domain in a system that they had no jurisdiction over. But somebody inside of the lodges signed some kind of a contract that made you become a U.S. national Moor. If you look on the back of your nationality card, it's going to say that this Moor is a U.S. national. That's a contradictory idea in and of itself, in that the U.S. is a foreign corporation masquerading as a de jure agency of government, right? So who is these people? They come in the legal fashion, a barristers. Barrister, if you look it up, is a title of nobility. And in the barristers union, you have honorables and esquires in rank. Esquires are the ones who are practicing the arguments on the floor. The honorables is the ones who sit and referee the argument between the two opposing sides in order for the barristers to get done administering the estate. The estate is governed by the lords. The lords are the landlords, right? Lords is a title of nobility.
Yep.
These are what we call real estate tycoons. Those who own massive amounts of real estate, but they don't have a domicile. They don't have a direct home. They do that because they don't have the same arrangements in law when they are owners of the land as opposed to what we call domiciles on the land. So we talking about somebody that's walking around as a ghost versus somebody walking around in flesh and blood. We talking the difference in a Dred Scott 3/5 compromise Negro that got no rights that a white man, which is a free white person in law, which is a Moor, is bound to respect. The whole purpose of doing the paperwork is to activate the status as free white person in law that makes you above the jurisdiction of the authorized bar associations of King George III. King George III issued the first charter for barristers to come and administer the estates of the landlords in what they call commerce and enterprise in the New World. That's what they agreement was, or they commission was from King George. So they became the ones who argued contract. When they issue a warrant is an ongoing declaration of war. The U.S. Supreme Court already ruled that the people that look like us are not part of their system, and they are not part. They are ongoing enemy combatants. This been in the law since the law been over here from their system. They never overturned any of that. Dred Scott haven't been overturned. They still see us as 3/5 compromised Negroes. When we become 5/5 realized, then we understand that the key to America is on the face of the dollar bill, and the contractors is there on the face of the dollar bill, right? The United States Treasury and the Treasurer of the United States. Who in the fuck is these motherfuckers and where is they at? And how is they making contracts and don't nobody know that they made a contract?
Exactly.
Right? So
Right.
under the Fair Debt Collection Act nullifies, voids out all of the contracts for what we call non-disclosure in law. The non-disclosure is they never told you that they were an interim government that was operating to reestablish the original governments of the land. Instead, they went rogue and decided to establish their own government on our land under the pretense that we will never figure out who we are. We will always think that we Moors, and we'll never know that we was at odds with the Moors in order to establish this land over here as the original de jure occupants of the land. When you get to the history, it tells you clearly that the Moors used to auction off the POWs. And you can find that in a book called Moors and Freemasonry, where it's talking about the auctions and the different prices is the status of the ones being auctioned. All of that's in there, but they thinking that it means something else. That's that's the slave block. Them motherfuckers, they was POWs, they was ransoming off, was us. They was selling us between themselves to do their bidding for them and to have children so they can kill us off and raise our kids and never know who they were. So now we don't know who he is. Our knowledge is took, a state of darkness, triple darkness, eternal death. And the only way to come back from it is to come back to life. Kill your straw man, your doppelganger, your imposter. Once you kill your imposter by asserting your 5/5 status in the public domain by public notice with no paperwork attached, because that's the trick. The barristers have it set up where anything that you file, driver's license, birth certificates, all of these adhesion contracts is designed, nationality cards, when you start signing this paperwork with these people, we already been infiltrated. So they designed to take you right back to the system.
Mm.
So the good question just came up. What about the American rights of the indigenous people? That's the I fucked you good note on the prostitute's dresser when the John is leaving.
Damn.
That's the I told you that all your shit belonged to me, but now I'm telling you I was just lying and I fucked you good. That's
So,
all it's saying. They just telling us what we already know, but they had to tell it to us because they're not gonna believe it coming from one of us.
and that's the problem. Don't nobody believe nothing we say. They are, if the Caucasian ain't said it, then it's not true. That's what's the
And
problem.
this is the reason why that exists. Because the dirty Moors, blacker Moors and tawny Moors, use pale faces to block institutions to keep us from discovering what they doing.
Exactly. You got
And
that
this is what was keeping us from developing to 5/5 realization status is because they hijacked the lodges. They came in hostile, according to Noble Drew Ali, 32-degree Scottish Rite Red Lodge. That's the motherland. They infiltrated the motherland first. That means they sent some stinking riding coochie bitches up into the families'
Damn.
harems and fucked up the families. She came in acting like she believed in the sisterhood, and then she found her head sister and busted her in the head.
Mm.
And
So,
then soon as the chief said something about it, she poisoned it with hemlock.
so now I'm hearing, like I said, I'm around everywhere, but people don't see me. I'm just there. Now we got this thing. Okay, we're on the track of who we are if they do the genealogy, but then you have people saying that we actually mix with some Europeans, is where a lot of our last names coming from, and they are the European royalty bloodline. Is reason, I guess, to say that's why royalty is in America. But if you look over in Europe, ain't shit there. So where did they get their royalty from?
and their name's not Smitten Jones. Ours is.
Exactly.
Ours was the name. We had the names. They took
But
the name.
they're giving people the, what you call it, like when you trace your name back to a what's that emblem, you have the
Family crest.
the family crest. Now,
Okay, so look, these names conceal tribal identities. Jones is, remember, the J 500 years old. We've been here longer than that. Jones is Ionis. Ionis means fish. So the Jones clans was the clans who used to fish the rivers and the lakes on the land.
that's what's up.
Yep. My
Okay,
The
people.
what about,
Johnsons, the
okay.
Johnsons, remember there was no J. It's
Mm-hmm.
Yanan. Yanan is the light bringers.
Mm.
I
So
like
the children of the ones who was the light bringers, which was priests in the community, was called Johnsons. So it's just so many things that they tricked us with that unveiling all of the tricks in one day would probably make a motherfucker drop dead at the end.
So what about, okay? One of my surnames is Walker.
Right. The Walkers is the Skywalkers. That's Big Tukey clan. The Skywalkers used to live in villages and treetops, so they burnt all the trees down.
Mm.
They was fearless. They was the ones when you watch the Great Wall, you see the women in the blue fighting those dragon bitches. Those were Skywalkers,
Oh, okay.
right? When you pull up treetop villages, you still got different tribes around the world that still got treetop villages. We had them. You used to be able to leave New Orleans in the treetops and don't even come down from the
Down
tree
on the, yeah, I
until you got to Florida.
And you were absolutely right, because the first thing they did on Claiborne Avenue was cut down all the trees, because
that,
that's how
that
people
goes
felt.
back that goes back to the story that these clowns is teaching, the Africa story that I was listening to, that niggas was homo sapiens that lived up in the trees. Then one day one of the homo sapiens came down out the tree and started living on the land.
Look, we lived on the land. We got tribes that dive under the water. That's where your mermaid myth came from.
Yes.
If you pull them up, it's a tribe in South Africa that's known for diving in the ocean. That's a mermaid clan, right? And they take the word mer and say that mean more too. I would be shaking my goddamn head, right? But everything with an M and an R in it is under the dogma. Remember, it's the difference between the morals and the dogma. Under the dogma, anything with an M and an R in it is a more. If it's in the history books to prove they lie, that we've been called Moors, you can't find nowhere over here we was Moors before
I
1492.
cannot find
It,
nothing. I tell you,
in
I have to
any
go.